Oh, welcome back, fight fans. And we continue our stream right where we left off with Volkan Ozdemir versus Alonso Menifield, round one. Momentarily, Uraz is going to be joining back with us in the screen right there. So this stream is again going to be English, so don't be too surprised. This is just part two. But like I've mentioned before, Volkan Ozdemir knocks out Menifield almost. He connects with a knee and uppercuts, a lot of punches. He's almost knocked out on the feet and he knocks him out. Volkan Ozdemir knocks out Alonso Menifield in round one. In round one, after getting tagged in the first second of the fight, Volkan Ozdemir starts pouring on the heat on Alonso Menifield, and he does not let go of it until Alonso Menifield crumbles to the punches of Volkan Ozdemir in the first round of this fight. An epic win. Epic win for Volkan Ozdemir, man. What we tell you? Bro, he never let it go. Punch, uppercut, knee. Muratcan, you say it's incredible. It is indeed incredible. My aga. Uppercuts, punches. Bro, he knocked him out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Standing up. Bro, yesterday we were talking about how Ilya punched Oliveira before he fell down. Like, when Oliveira's body was left suspended in the air, Topuria was keep punching him. But Volkan Ozdemir kept punching Alonso Menifield's body like a lot more times than that. Muratcan, you say Turkish power. Let's go, my man. Incredible finish by Volkan Ozdemir. What a guy. What a guy. The younger of the two fighters, Volkan Ozdemir, gets this fight against a dangerous opponent in Alonso Menifield with ease. Listen, when we predicted a Volkan Ozdemir win yesterday, we did not predict it to be this easy. Volkan, no time Ozdemir versus Alonso Menifield. And with that, Volkan Ozdemir bounces back from his Carlos Ulberg decision loss. And Carlos Ulberg seems to be running through everybody else except for Volkan Ozdemir. And, of course, Jan Blachowicz. But Carlos Ulberg finished everyone except Volkan Ozdemir and Jan Blachowicz. So, hey, with this win for Volkan Ozdemir, Carlos Ulberg's resume gets better. Which is, I don't know what to say about that, but hey, Alonso Menifield got slammed out. This YN did not belong. Let's just listen what Volkan Ozdemir has to say. Well, Volkan Ozdemir just slimed out Alonso Menifield in the first round. Incredible performance by him. There's a replay, if you can see it.
Damn, that is an interesting combo. Front uppercut or any front strike with a front knee. That's interesting. So that if he dips for the number two, like if he thinks that you're gonna throw a 1-2, kind of like walks the jab and wants to like duck under the two, instead of a 1-2, you throw a one knee.
Well, it was a very interesting turn of events because Volkan Ozdemir got tagged like the first punch, the first second, and then like with that punch, he switched on and just kept pouring on Alonso Menifield Alonso Manifield was just almost like waiting for a window for him to like just get back into the fight, but Volkan Özdemir never let him. Just kept punching, punching, and a knee, and then another punch, and just knocked him out on the feet, and actually kept punching him on the feet after the knockout. Like he got knocked out on the feet way before falling down to the ground. Incredible performance by him. And the previous fights that we involuntarily skipped, there were some very good performances in the main card. We'll just go over them really quickly in a second here.
Guys, like I don't know if our viewers care, but shall I turn on the lights or shall I keep them down? Like, it doesn't matter to them. Like,
well, I would say, I don't know if it matters to them, but I would say if it's not a problem, you can turn them on.
all right, good.
And the fights before this one, just the previous fight was Mitbek Oralbay versus Jack Hermanson.
Oh man,
The clash of the lightweight versus the middleweight in the welterweight division. And hey, Mitbek Oralbay knocked Jack Hermanson out with a grazing punch, like a half punch towards the back of his ear in the first round. Amazing performance there. And right before that one, Waldo Cortez Acosta slimed out Shomil Gaziev also in the first round. Another first round knockout. This was amazing. Like, really good performance by Waldo Cortez Acosta. He stepped up in short notice, just under the 48 hours or something like that. He came in against the Shomil Gaziev, who was an incredible kickboxer, but Waldo Cortez Acosta is probably the best boxer in the heavyweight division in his own right, and managed to slip and dip Shomil Gaziev's punches. And the knockout punch was exactly the same punch as you were speaking about the whole night. He threw like a long cross, moving his head from the center of the center line, and just one punch knocking out Shamil Gaziev.
Oh, but when he threw it high, he threw it to the head.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Incredible performance, incredible match. And the opener of the main card, Kyoji Horiguchi, was, I think, a little bit of an underdog, if I'm not mistaken, versus Tagir Ulanbekov. It was a close fight going on to the third because the rounds were 1-1, but in reality, Kyoji Horiguchi was starting to really dominate Tagir Ulanbekov in all aspects. And going into the third, he actually managed to finish the match with a submission rear naked choke and not even let it go to the judges. So far, all the matches in the main card have been finishes, including this last one, Volkan Özdemir versus Alonso Manifield. And now we slowly move on to the co-main event of the evening, Belal Muhammad versus Ian Machado Ferry. Let's see if the Ferry is going to be able to blind out Belal Muhammad.
Do you watch boxing, man?
I only watch like the heavyweights, the big matchups. Like I watched probably most of Usyk fights, the AJ fights, the Fury fights. I missed the last Canelo versus Bud fight, but yeah, I'm not too big of a boxing fan, honestly. The only bad part about the only downside to quick finishes is these commercial breaks that we have to suffer through. But thankfully, slowly we will move on to the co-main event. Now, a lot of people will be expecting a grappling strategy from Belal Mohamed going into this matchup. However, Ian Gary is well capable in that area himself, even though he was a striker coming up in his last few fights. He has turned into a little bit of a grappler, Ian Gary himself. So I'm actually suspecting Ian Gary to defend Belal's takedowns and maybe outstrike, outland him, and even look for a finish towards the later rounds in this matchup. But we'll
I mean,
see.
I know less about this guy than I know Chinese, but it looks as though he has the length to be very dangerous standing. He seems like a very long guy just by the looks of him. When I'm watching the tapes, he seems like a decent striker. And I don't know, I'm just getting the sense that he's like substantially taller than Bilal Muhammad. I don't know if that's the case.
He is.
Um,
He is taller. Yeah.
he looks huge.
Yeah. Well, they were standing. Well, they were facing off yesterday, and Bella's head actually is very big compared to Ian Gare's head, but there's a really considerable difference in height between the two fighters.
Wait, I am shocked. Bilal Muhammad's reach. Oh yeah, okay. Sorry. Okay. So all right. So yeah, this dude is he's 6'3", so he's 191, and he has basically a 190 reach. And Belal basically has a 183 reach.
Oh,
Like like some fighters will be just like so loose and so awkward that like there's something that like there's an advantage to being a striker that's like non-technical but effective because nobody can really replicate their style. So that's why they're hard to prepare for.
yeah.
So he looks like one of those dudes, at least from the tapes. So as far as commenting on him, that's all I can say. He has the reach advantage, he has the height advantage, and he looks like he has the awkwardness advantage. I mean, Bilal to me seems like he's a poor man's Dagestani. Like, but again, I don't know a lot about the guy. Like I really don't. I know he has a good gas tank.
He's from Chicago.
Like I mean, no. That like I know that he's like something American. Like I know that
Yeah.
he's something. But like in the octagon, I know that he grapples. I know that he's like a well balanced grappler. He can finish. He can put the pressure. I know that he tries to like adopt the Caucasus style of wrestling as much as he can. I mean, he seems to be effective at it. But I also know that he draws criticism for being Mr. Decision. He draws criticism for not being able to finish all that much. Like people talk about him having boring fights. Um, but
Usually,
if
usually in close fights like this, when both fighters are well rounded, like the striker surprises us with their grappling and vice versa. But in this matchup, I believe Ian Gary would edge him out normally. But given uh, the the fucking environment of the welterweight division today, both of these fighters are going to be looking for an impressive performance. Like probably wanted to finish the other just to get a title shot because that title shot is really up for grabs for anyone right now in the welterweight division against Islam, who is the recently crowned king of the division.
did you watch the Islam JDM fight?
Yeah, yeah, I watched the entirety of it.
Bro,
Unfortunately,
I didn't watch the fight. I can't bring myself to watch it because
no, don't.
I was I was hopped up on that Craig Jones Kool-Aid, man. I was like, yo, this dude figured it out, man. Y'all are gonna see Islam's gonna get wrecked, bro. People are gonna wake up to this shit. Like that dude's genius, man. It's over, and then turns out, man, he ragdolled. He mopped the floor with him, man.
Yeah, my official pick was JDM as well, but yeah, it's definitely not a match that anyone would want to re-watch. So
Was it that one-sided?
it was terrible. It was terrible. Even on the feet, Islam was beating JDM.
Really?
Yeah, like the few seconds the fight was spent on the feet, uh, because JDM just shelled up and Islam was teeing off on him in the third or the fourth round or something. So after uh, Islam's impressive and extremely dominant victory over JDM, I believe that anyone who wants to challenge for the title should go through JDM. But either of these two fighters, Belal, who was just the champion before JDM, and Ian Gary, who inarguably earned it the most out of any contender, but in the most unimpressive way. If either of these two contenders could show up and show out in this fight, then I believe that they would earn the right to skip JDM and contend for the title right away after this matchup.
By the way, just to clarify, the drama between Ilya Topuria and Islam Makhachev is that Islam moved up a weight class, right? So Topuria is basically he's ducking.
Yeah, if Topuria wants to fight, he can either move up and go for a third division, but I don't know if they would want or allow that, but I have no idea.
Why would they? Like, what issue might like you when you say they, you mean Topuria's people or UFC establishment?
No, I mean the UFC, because recently, especially with the double champ thing, they've been not allowing the champions to keep their belts while moving up a weight class. So Ilya vacated the featherweight belt, and with one victory in lightweight, I'm not sure if they want him to vacate that belt as well and then move up to welterweight, because then it becomes like the lightweight belt is just the
Yeah,
the
yeah, I
standing.
understand what you mean. Like it calls into question the legitimacy of the lightweight belt. Like nobody cares about it. Don't we?
Yeah, it just becomes the stand-in belt while Topuria is away doing his side quests, which is arguably what happened to featherweight. Even though Volkanovski came back against Diego Lopez and won a 5-round war against Diego Lopez, now his championship has a little bit of an asterisk next to it, because we all know that even in a second fight, Topuria would probably beat Volkanovski again. So, like, who's the real king of featherweight? I mean, of course it's Volk, but yeah, a little bit of a asterisk. Now, Ian Machado Ferry has made his walk out and walk in to the cage. Now we see Belal getting ready and almost getting to that point of entering the cage. Originally from Palestine, now fighting out of Chicago. Well, born and raised in Chicago, but whatever. Former UFC welterweight champion. He dominated Leon Edwards in a 5-round battle and then got slimed out by JDM in 5 rounds. He is definitely one of the biggest decision merchants in the UFC. And the second one would probably be Ian Gary. So we're going to see the battle of the decision merchants.
By the way, have you like I'm sure you have heard about it. What do you think about the idea of getting rid of rounds?
Who getting grams?
No, getting sorry, getting rid of rounds. No rounds.
No rounds.
Yeah.
I think it would completely change the sport. It would be a different sport. I mean, yeah, we could call it the same thing, but the athletes who dominate their divisions today would probably really get mixed up, in my opinion. Like for example, if there's no rounds and we're just going off until someone dies, Hamzat versus DDP, DDP probably wins
Why?
because towards the end of it, Hamzat was starting to get a little bit tired. But like, I don't want to say that because, in my opinion, uh, Hamzat displayed like perfect fight IQ in that uh, fight, especially because towards the end, towards the last rounds, Mark Goddard stood them up. So DDP almost knocked out Hamzat. And maybe if Hamzat had 1% less energy or 1% less focus in that moment, maybe DDP would have knocked him out just because Mark Goddard stood them up. So if there were no rounds or if there was a sixth round, seventh round, just them going until it ends, first of all, Hamzat, no matter how dominant he was not able to finish DDP. And DDP, just him being like a huge cow or some shit. Like he has no neck. He doesn't really get
Yeah.
tired. He's just like, but because he doesn't have legs, he also can't stand up. He's just like pinned to the ground. But eventually, if he would have been able to get Hamzat tired and shook him off, then maybe he would have won. I don't know.
Yeah, but this dude's intense. Damn near. Damn near gave that dude a kiss, man.
He almost did.
Had a little too much fun out there.
Jack Hermanson also really had a very dramatic uh, call out of his name by Bruce Buffer, but he ended up getting slimed out in the first round. So let's hope the same doesn't happen for Ian Machado Ferry, just for the sake of his wife and children in the audience.
So far, I've been like pretending to understand what it means, but I don't know what being slammed out means.
Oh, slammed out means it just means like knocked him out or submitted him or just dominated him, just slimed him out.
So it's either a finish or being dominated almost to the point of the finish.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like sucuğunu çıkardı, some shit like that maybe.
I've heard that one the first time right now as well.
I just made it up, so that's probably why.
Okay, sure.
And Ian Machado Ferry versus Belal Mohamed, first round in the welterweight division. Let's see if either of these fighters can show out and give us a spectacular performance to earn the next title shot against the dominant double champ Islam Makhachev.
Well, they're too shy in the stand-up game. Everybody's hitting everybody pretty hard.
Oh no no no no no no
Oh,
no!
no. You know why, bro? Because he has those like he has those like frog eyes. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't have like a warrior skull. His eyes aren't well protected in his skull. You know what I mean? Look,
Yeah,
it's just so easy to get to.
oof,
And
yeah.
that was a
But I think what you say it is valid because this is not the first time Belal gets eye
yeah. It
popped.
happens to him all the time.
Yeah, he's
One time it happened so bad, the dude was literally screaming at the top of his lungs. Like he got caught so bad, he was screaming.
yeah, like unfortunate as it is for him, he does seem to be prone to eye poke somehow.
Yeah. You know, for our viewers that are familiar with the notion of looks maxing and the looks maxing lingo, my man here suffers from highly recessed orbital rims that don't provide enough protection for his eyeballs.
Yeah.
Trying to outthink harder.
Also,
No cap.
his head is huge, so like I would guess that his eyes are also proportionally big, making them a
No, actually, usually, it, your head will grow around your eyes. So most of the time, people with big heads will have comparatively smaller eyes.
mm,
In his case, he just doesn't have these bones protruding enough to really like,
to guard it.
like
Yeah.
Yeah, to guard his eyes. Yeah.
He seems fine right now. He said fuck off to the fist bump. And we're on their way
Yeah.
again. A little bit of a delay, but
So you see that Gary has that splayed out stance so that he can at least protect one of his legs against takedown attempts. Kind of reminiscent a little bit of Conor McGregor
yeah.
from way back when,
But
from
whenever
when I was young in myself. Um,
whenever someone has that wide stance, you would suggest to kick their legs, wouldn't you?
I would, but in this case, Bilal's leg range may be within Gary's jab range, so it may not be the best idea in this case because he may get countered with a jab, even with a right hand while he's trying to kick. Um, because by bending his knees that much and staying that wide, he's essentially um, filling the tunnel, like the tunnel that Bilal would use to get to him. He's in that tunnel himself right now. Beautiful oblique push kick, dare I say. But yeah, both guys are standing up and fighting, man. They're just like throwing each other one twos and moving about. It looks like Gary is on the one hand trying to avoid the takedown, but on the other hand, he's trying to counter with the right. You can see his right hand like highly placed. He's willing to do some stuff. He's also trying to disrupt Muhammad's knees by throwing some oblique kicks, level changing. Both sides look eager to engage with their hands. It almost looks like a boxing match right now.
Yeah, Inger seems extremely confident in his ability to defend the takedowns. Like he's not worried at all. It seems like, but
Yes.
good shot there from Belal Mohamed.
I'm, by the way, impressed by Bilal Muhammad's hand speed. He is displaying good hand speed.
Yeah, the famous Canelo hands by Belal Mohamed. He showed a bit of them against JDM, and here he's also connecting on Ian Machado.
Like I've seen pretty good boxing from these guys. But by and large, the strikes themselves aren't all that interesting. Low kicks, well, that was a hard low kick.
Huge
Got
low
Muhammad
kick.
down, sprang up immediately. Gary really using oblique kicks to the front knee of Bilal, trying to disrupt his power. Um, but by and large, there's nothing too spectacular about the striking. It's just it is high paced.
Yeah.
So jab 1-2 oblique, jab 1-2 oblique.
Oh.
High kick attempt by Bilal, but he misses pretty easily.
Slightly grazes.
Bilal finally goes for the takedown.
Okay, now they clinch.
He's pressed. Is he going to get pounded? Bilal is going for a bit of that press and pound.
Finally, they engage in grappling, and we're not seeing Bella go for any of the double leg or the single legs. They just seem to be fine exchanging in the clinch position here.
Gary seems to have secured Bilal's left shoulder so that he can't really go down, and he gets out of there. Both fighters have cuts under their eyes.
The strength of Ian Gary, though.
Yeah, that was pretty easy for him. Ian Gary keeps on peppering that oblique kick to Bilal's front knee, low kick to Bilal's front leg, really trying to take that left leg out of the picture. Beautiful pull counter and a hook off of it. Beautiful hook and slips outside.
Ian Gary seems to be flowing. Ian Gary seems to be flowing beautifully in this fight.
Yes. Bilal is cut up on the left side of his face.
A terrible cut.
Bleeding pretty badly at this point. And Bilal has been having a pretty big difficulty closing the distance. And yes, he finally switches stances. He switches back to his orthodox, but now he's in southpaw again, which indicates that left leg is highly damaged from all the kicking that Gary has been doing. Bilal goes for a takedown, goes for the single leg.
A nice timing on the entry, but Machado succeeds to defend it.
He's pressed up again, but underhooks the left arm to prevent Bilal from going down to attack his legs. And sending some uppercuts. Bilal tries an elbow to Ian Gary's face.
They separate back to the middle of the octagon. Ooh, both fighters connect.
Right hand to high left kick, tries a spinning middle kick, but does not land, but has gotten Bilal's respect.
And there we have the first round.
Have fun out there.
Well, Ian Gary seems to be ahead on the standing. Well, they didn't go to the floor anyway, but still a competitive fight so far and a valiant effort by Belal as well. But a very fast-paced first round by these two welterweights. We probably did not expect to see that. We were expecting more of a grappling matchup, maybe, but both of their talents seemingly cancel out on that aspect. So we get to see a good barn burner so far.
Okay, so at this point, I'm asking you out of like genuine curiosity. I don't know why it doesn't happen between the two of us. I believe you're a substantially more senior watcher of MMA. Why don't fighters that have reach issues use sidekicks?
What
Because
issues?
it is your longest weapon, actually, like, when you think about it.
The,
Why isn't Bilal just straight up sidekicking Gary?
I I'm not sure. Maybe it's just something that he does not have in his arsenal.
No, but like, shouldn't it be like a staple for guys with shorter reach to like sidekick to make some type of contact? Like, how is it that Gary is using it? He's using sidekicks and oblique kicks and all these like more linear, rangy kicks. By the way, very good combo from Gary. 1-2 with a high kick. Keeps on peppering that left leg with the oblique kicks. Circles around, looking for engagement, pops the jab out. They're all trying to cut the distance, but Gary's just too sharp with the jab, too sharp with the pulls. They're all trying to get in with 1-2s, but
A nice body
does not
shot.
find
A kick to the body
an
from
accurate
Bella.
landing with 2. But yeah, you expect him to throw more. I mean, look, he's in good sidekick distance right now. Gary has that knee out, so that is a target there. I mean, well, look at it right now.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
right now,
yeah.
can you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, you're so right. But I think he's only going for the head at the moment. He's a little bit of head hunting, Belal.
I mean, good attempts, nice 1-1-2 combo from Bilal. Oh, if that had landed, Gary just missed a looping right hand that would have ended the whole thing.
I think that last shot cut Belal's eye a little bit. I'm not sure.
Again, forced to change his stance to protect his left knee. He and Gary just clinically dissecting him from outside. Now attacking the other leg. Belal goes for the takedown.
Gets his back.
Takes his back. He's pressed up against the cage with Belal having taken his back. And he's trying to protect against the leg attacks by pressing against Belal's knee. He sprawled out really wide to avoid the takedown and gets out of there again.
Yeah, Ian Gary is just too strong and too technically good in grappling to get take down by a lazy takedown like that. Like Bella really has to have that perfect entry and the distance to complete that takedown. If there's even a little bit of the fence, Ian will stand up. Yeah,
And he's big. I mean, look at how big he is. He can just, it's almost like having your like leg be held by a child trying to take you down. Like he's so much smaller than you. You can't really disrupt your balance.
yeah, it's almost like Bella versus Adesanya almost.
Well, I mean, those are the measurements. Adesanya is maybe slightly taller than Gary. Adesanya is like 6'4". Gary's 6'3".
Yeah, their leg heights probably are similar, at least
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
ratios.
He's big for this weight division.
Well, at least good strength by Bilal to be able to just press Ian Gary like this. If he can do a little bit more of the press and pound, the pounding part, he could maybe collect some points here in the second round.
It's just that Gary's arms are so long, he can secure Bilal's arms so high up on himself. You know what I mean? Like he's like almost like an octopus. Like he can always interfere with Bilal's arms, so he can't just get free with one arm. But right now they're in the middle of the cage again, and we're back to our 1-2 game.
Yeah, good shots there by Ian Gary. Again, a lazy shot, a takedown attempt by Belal, and well, Ian now reverses the position to try his own takedown, and he lets it go. With a minute and 15 seconds left in the second round, we'll see if either of the fighters can pull ahead. And another eye poke, seemingly.
I think it was. I mean, I saw his fingers extended.
If you're the referee, are you taking a point at this point?
I'm super aggressive with eye pops. Like this, I think they should be camera review.
Uh,
And if they're confirmed through camera review, there should be an immediate point deduction.
Not really an eye poke in that moment. If we
No,
could,
but like for example, you're not allowed to stick your finger in cuts. So like if you actually stuck his finger into a facial cut,
oh yeah, that would also be
you know what I mean? Like,
terrible. Yeah. I mean, they can just take a point right now to make it more fun, but either way, I don't think there was a. I can't see the eye poke in the replay there. Seems both of his fists are closed. Maybe his left fist, a single one of the index fingers.
maybe at that angle it looked kind of weird, right? I wish that they had a slow mo of that. But anyway, we're back. We start in the middle of the cage. Gary throws a high kick, catches on his guard. Gary keeps the distance, beautiful jabs. That was weird. We're going so low. Yeah, his whole strategy is to like keep the tunnel full so that I'm ready for takedown attempts. Also moving about very well for
Belal,
jab.
but oh, Belal is really having to reach out to punch, and it's not really a natural punching form for him when he has to reach Ian to punch.
Yes, he's having huge trouble closing the distance and getting contact. Went for the takedown again, didn't work again. He's pressing against the cage, but not really doing anything. The amount of arm position control that Gary can exert on Bilal really is incredible. His arms are so long compared to his that, and his legs are long, so he can post very high, so he doesn't get tripped. You know what? This kind of reminds me of the old Cormier John Jones fights, where it's like you would see that like Jones's length advantage was also such it gave him such an upper hand in grappling as well. Because think about it, like if my legs are longer, I can spread so much wider. I essentially become immovable. Say my balance was disrupted. If my arms are super long, like if I have short arms, I fall, I fall, and then I bust. But if I have very long arms, as soon as I'm tripped over just a little bit, boom, my arm's on the ground again.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing a bit of the same dynamic here, where just the length and the height of Gary has really taken Bilal back almost. Like he doesn't really know how to deal with that type of structure and how to disrupt the balance of that type of structure. You know?
Yeah, we saw a similar dynamic in the Horiguchi versus Tagir Ulanbekov fight, but in that fight, the lankier, the longer fighter was not packing as much muscle as Ian Gary. As you said, when there's such a advantage in reach, in the arm length, and he's muscular like Ian Gary, it's just almost impossible to take him down.
Yeah, like he matches you for strength, and he's just so much longer. He controls space so much more effectively just because of his length. And by the way, Gary has very good mobility despite having such a wide stance. Like he's very advanced with switching his stance with depending on the situation.
Yeah,
Very nice counter punching, but that corner is going to do it. Yes, yes, Bilal, just keep him on the corners. Don't even take him out. Keep him on the corners. Use that illusion. Have him, yeah. Right around here, right around here. Throw some looping ones.
Ian does
right
have
around here, but
Ian does have a couple knockouts just on the back foot, moving off the center line and counter punching with his left.
and displaying very good fight IQ with the oblique kicks, really messing up Bilal's mobility even further, which he desperately needs to close the distance. Whoa, that is a beautiful connection by the 1-2.
A clean tag.
The right hand connects as well. Nothing too hot. Barely misses.
That graze.
Deep to the face. Hard low kick.
Belal is just eating all of these.
Well, sees the big right hand coming, ducks under it, tries to go for takedown.
We're back to the clinch a little bit, but Ian does not want to stay in that position anymore. Ducks under that elbow. Pretty good.
I mean, the oblique kicks have done so like it has paid dividends for Gary.
Oh yeah, you can see on top of his knee, Belal is bleeding. Oh,
Yeah. He's destroyed that knee.
how is he moving forward? Incredible. A better takedown entry by
Yes.
Belal just because Ian wasn't so focused. Managed to get his back to the fence. And now he'll look to reverse this position. Maybe Belal looking to grind him out and kill his motivation, but let's see if Ian will. Oh, beautiful oblique.
Yeah, I mean the John Jones comparisons. Obviously, I'm not saying the guy's as good as him, but there are very obvious stylistic similarities with distance management and the oblique kicking. I'd say he's more like he's lighter on his feet compared to John, even in John's prime. Um, but yeah, like I'm very impressed by this guy. Very impressed by this guy.
Yeah, and doing this against Belal Mohamed, it's no easy task because Belal is no slouch. He was just the champion of this division in the beginning of this year. So,
I mean, even
ooh,
as much as he's getting, I mean, technically speaking, dominated, I can see why because the dude clearly has a very high pain tolerance, very high discomfort tolerance. Like he's tough as nails. Both knees busted, still pursuing the action, still moving forward. Both gentlemen very impressive in their own light, but Gary just has been more effective.
Belal has been infamous for being a little bit of a boring decision fighter all throughout his career, but his last few fights, his it's really been a like a barn burner dogfight type of um, back and forth fights, and Belal has really shown the fans that he has grit, and he's not afraid to show it.
I mean, what I'm seeing technically is that Belal doesn't have a lot of tools. So, for example, when you look at his takedown, they're very linear. When you look at, for example, Hamzat Chimaev's takedowns, Habib's takedowns, they have a
Dynamic.
very good sense early on to change the direction of their takedown and then convert it into a trip if the entry doesn't work. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Belal just does the entry and then keeps hugging and hopes what's gonna like something good's gonna come out of it.
Really bullish, not dynamic
Yes,
enough. Yeah.
yes. Not dynamic, not nuanced. So, and same can be said for striking too. I mean, how is it that you're the guy with the shorter reach and you're kicking less? I mean, you have to kick more.
A beautiful head kick there landed by Bilal with seconds to go.
Oh, that was a big front hook. That's it. I'm like almost like 200% sure that's Gary.
Yeah, I also think Ian Gary handily won, but impressive performance by both fighters. They put on a show, I would say. They
Yes,
both
definitely.
both landed on each other, and as simple as Belal's strategy was, he was still standing his own in this fight. But Ian Machado Gary did enough, in our humble opinions, to edge out this fight against Belal Mohamed, the former champion, here in Qatar tonight. There's an argument to be made that if there was a point reducted from Ian Gary, maybe we could go to a draw, but there was no point reducted. So
I mean, I don't know, man. I think for me, like is like despite Bilal having shown a lot of toughness, despite maintaining such a high pace, although he was like pretty badly damaged, I think it's pretty cut and dry, man. It's he and Gary Machado.
yeah, he knows it as well. And here we'll.
And I also think like this was a fight where a good deal of Bell's technical shortcomings were exposed. I mean, the lack of um, strike variability. Yeah, strike variability was very obvious, like a lack of strike variability. Um, the takedown techniques being very one dimensional. Um, and again, like I'm not well versed on that part of the game, but um, again, just the eye test, like this idea of in a bullish way, like you said, like he goes through the entry, and most of these Dagestani guys, when the entry doesn't work, that's how they chain it, right? Like they do a new move, they do a new move, and they in order to do that,
No.
you have to kind of change angles. You kind of like circle around a little bit to gain momentum, to build up momentum, to finally get that takedown. And a lot of them also apply some type of torque where it's not just, oh, I entered, I pulled, I turned. There's like this upper body pulling on the downside, pushing on the upside trip component. And at least visually speaking, Bella didn't look like that. He didn't look like he was attempting to do that, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, there's something to be said about if Belal was able to make it a little bit closer, maybe he could have relied on the Qatar, the home crowd advantage, and just like maybe relied on a little bit of a robbery. But Ian Machado Gary did not make it that close. He pretty clearly won most rounds. Well, there were three, but yeah.
also, he looked as though he had a coherent game plan. It was like, we're going to take away the wheels so that he can't cut the distance. And we're going to take away, I mean, when you do a.
Gary, you come into my division, then you show up wherever you want in the world, and I'll be there. And I'm taking that throne from you, and I'm ending that continuous streak.
Oh, he's calling out Islam Makhachev.
Nobody getting in the way of me and my future and me and my dreams. So sign the contract, and I will see you soon. That's the way to make a case for a title shot. Your winner, ladies and gentlemen, Ian Machado.
Yeah, like he had a coherent plan where it's like, let's take away the legs because he's going to try to close the distance. And think about how much load you incur on your front knee when you're doing a takedown attempt, like when you're shooting in for a takedown.
Yeah.
So if you bust somebody's knees during a fight, what won't they be able to do? Takedowns. You know what I mean? Like he already didn't have to worry about the hand striking. You just stay on the outside. He was good at that. Or this dude.
Hasbullah on our screens. Ian Machado Gary with a statement win. We'll see if that's going to be enough to book the next title shot against Islam. A good performance. I don't know if that earns you the title shot, but hey, even though it was not a finish, it was a dominant performance. Belal was not slimed out in this match, but he lost fairly and squarely.
Ask for that timeout again. Is it slimed out or slammed out?
No, slimed.
Oh, like a snake.
Like a slime.
I slimed out. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Pestili çıktı. Sucuğu çıktı değil. Pestili çıktı.
Aynen. So yeah, Belal was not slimed out in this matchup, but yeah, he was handedly beaten. And now we move on to the main event of the evening against top contenders in the illustrious lightweight division of the UFC. Arman Tsarukyan, the man who had the previous title shot against Islam before having to pull out, and Dan Hooker, arguably the longtime BMF of this division. We all know that the stinker fest that Dan Hooker went on when he moved down a weight class, but ever since coming back up, his wins against Mateusz Gamrot, Jailton Turner, and someone else has put him back into the top 5 of the division, and now he will face against the should have been former title challenger, and we'll see who will earn the next title shot in the lightweight division against Topuria. I can't really see a world where we would match up Dan Hooker against Ilya Topuria, but if he were to beat Arman in any spectacular fashion, he would definitely earn it above anyone else in the division. Arman is, even though his inactivity, he's been treated like almost like a second champ in the division.
Looking at the highlight video, I can kind of see why. He makes it look good.
Yeah, he's one of the very few people that went to a very close decision with Makachev, and that was Arman's just debut match against now the double champ of the UFC. Arman was able to take down Islam and even win a round against him. And ever since then, he's been on a tear. He lost a close robbery decision to Mateusz Gamrot, but his fight with Charles Oliveira was also very close, and some argued that maybe that should have been a victory on Oliveira's part. But even so, except for those two, he hasn't made any match close, and he has dominated every single one of his opponents. Dan Hooker, not the best takedown defense. A lot of hardcores and even casuals, I would suspect, would give this matchup easily to Arman. So if Dan Hooker manages to show up in any kind of way and show out, we will be surprised. Saying that, as we see the highlights, Dan Hooker himself is no slouch. Both of these fighters definitely deserve their spots in the division. And now, Dan Hooker shall make his walkout. Yeah. Dan Hooker recently, with his success on his own fight promotion.
Wait. Pause. This dude has a fight promotion in which he fights.
Yeah, but it's I don't know the name, but it's like backyard 1 minute fights or something. They fight in Dan Hooker's backyard, and it's 1 minute bouts, and yeah, that's all you have. 1 minute to finish the other guy.
So it's gangster shit I've ever heard.
It's been pretty successful on social media, but we'll see what the future of that promotion has in store for Dan Hooker while we watch his walkout in Qatar tonight. As we see Eugene, Dan Hooker's coach, the head coach of the city kickboxing gym.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, a lot of people. I mean, not. I don't know if it's a lot of people, but like I've seen some like documentary like videos really praising that guy as some type of like MMA genius or something. Like, do you think there's any merit to that?
The what?
Like his coach. People talk about how like he's like really he's super smart and like, he strategizes very well and he's such a good coach and blah blah blah. Like, do you think there's merit to that? Like, is he that good or?
Yeah, 100%. Well, he was the head coach of Volkanovski, but then Volkanovski separated the gyms. But he's also still the head coach of Adesanya, Dan Hooker, Carlos Ulberg, the light heavyweight prospect who beat the guy in our featured fight, Volkan Ozdemir. a few matches ago, and he knocked out Dominic Reyes in his last fight. So Carlos Ulberg, another fighter from the same gym, now inching towards the title shot in the light heavyweight division against Alex Poatan Pereira. In fact,
Man, who was
there
Carlos Ulberg? I remember that name.
Carlos Ulberg is probably the next number one contender, the next title shot in the lightweight division. I can't.
Oh, this dude.
Yeah, he's also from the same gym, and Eugene is also his head coach. So definitely, there's merit to Eugene being a very smart and very intelligent coach, as he also won Coach of the Year a few times, I believe, at least once. Probably.
Dude, this dude has that Polynesian power, bro.
Yeah, Carlos Ulberg is a very scary contender, and except for Jan Blachowicz and Volkan Özdemir, he slimed out everybody. He finished everybody. But Volkan Özdemir and Jan Blachowicz, he went to close decisions with both of those guys.
How does he hit so hard? Like when you look at him, his build, like he's not even that much bigger than Adesanya, but it's like a mule.
Yeah. Like he is like similar to Adesanya, but you can just tell like his shoulders are a little bit broader. He's just a little bit more fitter for the weight class above.
I mean, yeah, like he's so confusing because like usually like when you look at like most Polynesian people, I know this dude's like half Polynesian, half German, and he's built more German than Polynesian. Like when you look at Polynesians, they're just built so thick, so stocky. You're like, okay, I get why this guy gets so hard. But in his case, like there's no obvious tell that he would have such bricks for hands, but he does. I know this dude, yeah.
And we see the number one contender, Arman Tsarukyan, make his walk out, and his teammate Hamzat Chimaev is right beside him there. A new collaboration in the UFC. These two have been teammates for the last year, I believe so, and not too much longer than that. Definitely, so far, a friendship that has benefited Hamzat. Let's see if it's going to be beneficial for Arman Tsarukyan as well. Arman Tsarukyan seemingly cool, calm, and collected. There was rumors, although it was not rumors. Dan Hooker said this in a fight interview that his friend, his very close friend, had a massage, and the masseuse, the massager, whatever you call that,
Masseuse.
the masseuse, said to Dan Hooker's close friend that in the previous session, the same masseuse massaged Arman Tsarukyan, and she said, according to the rumors, that she couldn't go hard on Arman's back because it was all fucked up, meaning that it was injured. We don't know if it's the same injury from January that made him pull out against Islam in their title fight. But if that rumor is to be believed, maybe there could be some sort of injury or a little bit of problem with Arman's back, but we're not sure. Those are just rumors that came out from Dan Hooker's mouth, so maybe he was just trying to stir up something. We don't know, but those are the expert rumors that we've heard from Dan Hooker himself. Close to the source, we could say. At least closer than I am.
It's a bit of a convoluted story. Like, what was the like? How do you guys end up in a situation where like the one single masseuse, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you understand what I'm trying to say? Like,
But
doesn't seem super likely.
they're staying in the same hotel, and it's not the same masseuse for the both of them. It's Dan Hooker's friend and Armand.
Oh, okay.
So like maybe could have happened. You know, I wouldn't believe it as well if it was Dan Hooker and Armand having back to back sessions with the same person, but it was Dan Hooker's friend. So I don't know.
I mean, that is more plausible. I get what you mean. I mean, we'll see if he avoids going in for takedowns. Yeah, then he probably does have something wrong with his back.
And by the way, when Dan Hooker mentioned this, he did not mention Armand's name, at least from the perspective of the masseuse. He said that the masseuse said the other part of the main event. So maybe if there was an ever slight fucking mistranslation, maybe it was the co-main event. I don't know, but anyways, we'll see in a few moments. Just as Dan Hooker is being introduced, Arman Tsarukyan will also be introduced, and we'll be underway with our main event of the night. Arman Tsarukyan is introduced. Our referee officiating the fight, Mike Goddard, takes the center stage, reads the rules to the fighters. They fist bump, which I was not expecting, to be honest. The main event of Fight Night Qatar. Arman Tsarukyan versus Dan the Man, the Hangman Hooker. Let's see who will be victorious in this lightweight matchup here tonight.
Hooker looks so much bigger.
Yeah, wow, actually.
I mean, it looks ridiculous. He looks so much bigger.
Dan Hooker famously beats up on Adesanya in the gym, who is the former middleweight champion. But Tsarukyan's wrestling will prove to be the difference in this matchup, as most fans suspect. Let's see if that's going to be the case.
The Hooker looks like he either trusts his eyes or his chin a lot. His hands are constantly down. He's throwing some wild shots.
And there goes.
So far, very successful maintaining the distance, but Arman, yeah, that inside trip. Okay, that's what was missing. That inside leg trip from Bilal. Did you notice that? Look, he just immediately did it.
No, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, the Hooker's so big, he immediately got up, but he's probably gonna go for it again. Yeah, it's the inside leg trip.
Arman Tsarukyan, if his back was injured, he would probably struggle in this position. Seemingly, he's fine. And Dan Hooker doesn't even look too worried defending these takedowns, but I don't think that's too good for him. But he manages to separate a little bit.
Oh, catches a knee to the head while exiting the exchange.
Oh, couple jabs.
Tsarukyan with the high kick gets immediately answered by Hooker.
Ooh.
Tsarukyan with the hard 2 and 3.
Connects
right
beautifully.
Hand front.
Dan Hooker's knee is bleeding.
Hooker looks, you think Hooker looks dazed?
I think so. His leg is bleeding. He might even get knocked out on the feet here.
Damn, how is he catching all this stuff? Bro, you're not fast. Keep your hands high. Keep your hands high, Dan.
Yeah, and move your head, bro. Now Dan has seemingly started the wrestling exchange, the clinch at least, and gives his back to Arman, gives his back to Hooker, but then reverses the position on the cage, and then now Dan is going for the guillotine. Arman craftfully escapes and now has the top position on Dan Hooker on the ground. Dan Hooker will look to climb on the fence as he hooks his fingers on the. No, he doesn't. Okay.
Just toes on the fence now. All right, so
Oh,
what is this?
a nice triangle attempt, unexpected triangle attempt by Dan Hooker there, but Tsarukyan manages to easily escape it. Now Tsarukyan clearly going for a crucifix, but Hooker manages to get his arm out of there.
He's still vulnerable to the elbow, the right elbow. He's fighting against the crucifix, doing a pretty good job, but he's still in a good deal of danger, particularly from that elbow, from the right elbow. And
Terrible position for Dan Hooker to advance for a stand up because he's in the wrong ankle to climb the fence without hooking his fingers, and now he's even in a worse position.
he's almost crucifixed at this point, right?
Yeah, he crucifixed Arman from the bottom position. Now Arman.
He's utilizing that elbow.
Yeah, both guys elbow.
Hooker has to be smart and secure that arm, but Arman kind of moving towards a choke, it seems.
Now Arman trying to go for that crucifix as you mentioned. But no, he let it go this time. He's back to elbowing.
But you would call this side control, right? Like he's basically striking from side control.
Yeah, he's in side control, but he's so up high that yeah, he can whenever he wants he can go up to like a north south, maybe attack an arm, but an awkward position to ground and pound from. So I don't know why he's picking specifically this position to ground and pound Dan Hooker.
Oh,
a shot.
Two very clear strikes in the back of the head.
Yeah, Dan Hooker hooks his fingers in the fence.
I don't think the ref saw that, by the way. He had like two very obvious strikes to the back of the head. Now going for ground and pound with the elbow, with the left arm.
3 seconds, 2.
And saved by the bell.
A round in the books for Arman Tsarukyan. Our commenters have said, what the fuck is Dan doing? He hasn't been doing much, sadly. Oh, his face is already battered up.
I think Dan overestimates his eyes, and that's why he's trying to play that Conor McGregor game where my hands are low and I'm going to counter you. It's just he doesn't have the speed or the reflexes to execute it. So he looks like a bit of a fool right now.
Yeah, Dan Hooker against capable grapplers in his previous fights. For example, Matish Gamrat was able to edge a decision against Arman, and Dan Hooker beat him handedly. But in this matchup, Arman Tsarukyan is just... He's almost like the fighter we talked about before, Michael Chandler. He's like an energy bull, but he's more reliant on his wrestling compared to Michael Chandler, and seems to be a little bit more capable and skilled on the feet as well. So it's going to be a really tall task for Dan Hooker to start changing the tides here in the second round.
I mean, can't really comment on the ground game, but even in the striking, Hooker's not looking good. Like,
yeah,
I don't think his hands should be that low. I don't think he has the juice like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's not that guy. He's not the guy to like have his hands down and counter. I mean, he doesn't look like that guy in this fight. You know, like
yeah, exactly. In this matchup, he's definitely not that guy.
So he needs to have his hands a little higher, and probably do some oblique kicking. That works against shorter opponents that are trying to get inside. But don't just kick his knees, Dan. Come on, just mind meld with me, bro. Let's do this.
And the worst part about this for Dan Hooker is that even if he manages to change the tides later in this fight, his left eye is almost bruised.
Oh, look, see that whole like upper hand turn, that turn stuff. Did you see what I was talking about?
From Tsarukyan.
Tsarukyan, yeah. He didn't just barrel in straight. Like he got there and then he twisted.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so he's in guard. Good luck getting out of that guard. Those long legs of Hooker. But still, man, the dude's active, the dude's strong, and he's even from guard, he's getting some effective strikes going on. Just look at the strength difference, just like pushing his head down, Push him the arm haul. Like this dude is strong as an ox, man.
It's like Arman has short hands, which really allows him to create power in a small
Yeah, in
distance.
those small distance, exactly. He doesn't get muffled.
But
Hands aren't getting.
yeah, he's such a great fighter that he's never struggling in the distance either. So like, it's like he's one of those fighters who seemingly does not have a weak point. That's why it was a very enticing matchup to see him against Islam or either Topuria in the future will be. We'll just see what this young man can do in his own future. But in this fight, seemingly Dan Hooker is out of options. He's not even looking to step on.
Bro, the difference in strength isn't even comparable. I mean, Dan Hooker is holding on for dear life with both hands, and Arman just pushes him off with one arm and then starts teeing off with the other. Like, this is ridiculous. This dude's up there in terms of strength with Habib, man. This dude's like,
Yeah,
I am shocked to see how strong this guy is.
he's probably more ripped than Habib ever was.
Yeah, but that says something up to a point at this level, right? But like, he's definitely Michael Chandler, Habib
Esque. Yeah.
levels, like yeah, that level of physical strength. Um,
Dan Hooker here was not even looking to push off the hips and create distance, and Arman Sarukian easily advances to the half guard, and again is using that elbow to grind on Dan's face, while Dan is like a bug on his back, seemingly out of options to.
and he can't even maintain guard with those long legs. Like he just passed the guard. He's on mount now. Bro, just look open in the dude's hands like it's nothing. Like you see that right, left arm of
Yeah.
Hooker, like he opens it up.
This is terrible, and I think we'll see a finish. Oh, and an arm triangle.
Oh,
He's definitely going for a
that's
finish
it,
now.
that's
Mark
it,
Goddard
that's
is
it, that's it.
closely
That's
watching.
it. That's it. That's
Danaker.
it. He's gonna sleep. He's gonna sleep.
Danaker seems fine in his eyes.
Yeah.
But now he's tapping. No, he's not tapping.
No, he's not tapping. Oh,
He
he's
tapped.
tapping. Tap, bro.
Arman Sarukian finishes Dan Hooker in the second round with an arm triangle submission. First, Dan Hooker got smudged, and then he got submitted in the second round. A beautiful arm triangle by Arman Sarukian, and now he cements himself in that next contender fight. If
Did he get slimed? Is this what it means to be slimed?
yeah, he got exactly slimed.
I understand what you mean, man. Yeah.
He definitely got slimed in this one. Unfortunately, in both the striking, both the grappling. Now Arman Sarukian is asking for a belt. Bro, you do not win the belt off of fucking Dan Hooker, but you were already deserving of the title shot. However, the only caveat against your argument was your inactivity, because this guy showed up to his last fight 2 years ago, but finally, after a long break, he wins. He gets a victory against a top-ranked contender in the lightweight division. Against
Look, this is what I mean. Look,
Yeah,
look.
the twist.
See?
Yeah.
See the twist. This is what Bilal wasn't doing.
Yeah.
He would just keep running with that single leg.
He was trying to brute force it.
Yeah.
It was not working for him at all. Arman Sarukian
But Matt,
towards the title again. We can't say valiant effort for Dan Hooker. It was not like the co-main event at all, but he got smudged. He got slimed out. Arman Sarukian just proves why there's levels to this game and proves why he deserves to be on that top tier of fighters in his division at 155 pounds. Some people have said Dan Hooker did the prime Anthony Smith turtle move. But he would have done it if he was in that position too, turtle. Yeah, and soon we'll get the victor's hand raised in the octagon.
I think all in all, this really was an educational card, man.
It was a great card. It was a great card.
Yeah. It was an educational card. I mean, because it's like, what was this matchup, right? Like, this matchup was the shorter, stockier grappler against the longer striker. And the previous matchup was the same. And in the previous matchup, the longer striker was more technically adept. And
these two fights really make it apparent which works for who. Because you can't make a generalization in saying that this fighter would always win, because we saw the opposite examples in the two main and the co-main events, as you said.
Yeah.
Now let's hear from Arman Sorkyan.
Beautiful submission.
Feeling great. Thank you so much, Qatar UFC, for that opportunity to be here. My old fan who came here and support me. I really appreciate it. It's an honor to fight here, especially in main event. And you see my friends over there.
What is he saying?
I saw my friends up there and stuff like that. You can't hear it.
Like in the beginning, I did, but then the volume went down.
Okay.
We got a face on. There is just one contender, number one. It's Arman Tsarukyan. Don't make an easy fight.
Obviously, the last time we saw you was last April, and you are the number one contender. With that win, that's what you're calling for, the champ, Ilia Topuria.
I understand why you're saying you don't go through Hooker directly to the belts fight, but at the same time, like, he didn't fight Dan Hooker, bro. He beat his ass up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't even competitive, so I kind of get his point too, where, you know what I mean? Like, he's like, I'm so good.
No, he definitely deserves it at this point, because his only problem was inactivity, and he just needed one win. It didn't even matter if it was someone in the rankings or outside of the rankings. With him beating the number 5 guy in the division, I think there's no argument on top of him. Because the other two arguments were Paddy Pimblett, who has been active in the last year, putting on 2 fights, or Justin Gaethje, who has not been too active and have not been too good in his last few fights either. So like, our options were not good, but we were struggling to justify Arman's shot because he hadn't showed up to work in 2 years. But now, since he has, his argument is undisputable, in my humble opinion, against the lightweight champion Ilia Topuria. So the next title matchup should be that fight, as we see Hamzat embrace with his teammate. And with that, we also conclude our night of fights and our stream. Thanks everybody for watching. We would normally maybe stay on for a little bit longer, but hey, it is what it is. Plus we're not getting...
Bu arada ben yani 15-20 dakika daha kalabilirim istiyorsan.
Aga normalde biraz daha yorum alıyoruz ve şimdi biz Türkçe'ye dönebiliriz aga. Sonuçta şeyimiz bitti.
Evet, yaptık, maçı yaptık, aynen abi. Gel Türkçe'ye dönelim ya.
Olayımız bitti. San çok istiyorsa onlardan birini alsın işte.
Ha, bu şimdi kayıtlı mı bir yerde abi? Bu kaydoldu mu bir yere?
Ha aynen, bu bizim kanalda canlıydı. O canlı yayınların kaydı da duruyor yani.
Okey, tamamdır abi. Tamamdır. Ona da bir şey yollayabiliriz. Süper abi, süper. Ben vallahi bunu seninle yapmayı o kadar çok sevdim, o kadar da içim rahatladı ki ben çok isterim CFC'de seninle sunmak. Çünkü dediğin gibi benim kafa biraz yavaş çalışıyor bazen. Böyle uzun genel yorumlar yapmaktan pozisyonel yorum yapmayı unutuyorum bazen. Yetişemiyorum yani. Görüyorum, ağzından yeteri kadar hızlı çıkmıyor. O yüzden o tarafta seni de bayağı iyi buldum yani gerçekten. O yüzden ben çok gelmeni isterim yani. Ve şey dedi. Yani sohbetimiz, muhabbetimiz de uyuştu abi. Biz seninle bu konular dışında başka konuları da konuşuruz belli yani.
Aga aynen. Bir de şey, yani benim açıkçası benim tarafımdan hani hem event'e karşı hem de bu yayına karşı bile böyle biraz jitters vardı. Da zaten yani hem yayını açtığımız andan itibaren hem de şimdi sonuna gelene kadar confident'ım yani. O kadar confident'ım ki.
Ben de öyle hissediyorum şu anda, aynen.
Aynen.
Öyle hissediyorum. Arkadaşlar ne diyor? Bir şey diyorlar mı arkadaşlar?
Şimdi bir yorum geldi, favori duo diye. Şu an çok bir izleyicimiz yok diye tahmin ediyorum. Çünkü aynen İngilizceyiz diye biraz turn off oldular bugün ama neyse, o da onların cahilliği. Yani ben ne yapayım? Aga normalde zaten outrolarımızda Buraya kadar izlediyseniz malsınız amına koyayım diyoruz outro'muzda. Çünkü seyircilere saygı gösterdiğin anda bitiyorsun bu oyunda. Ama yayında, özellikle yayın sonuna kadar izleyen herkese de ayrıca gönlümüzden teşekkür ediyoruz. Onlara mal olmadığını söylüyoruz. Çünkü yani yayında o kadar saat oturup izleyenlere malsınız demek ayıp oluyor bir tık. Ama onun dışında da yani hem bizim kimyamız oturdu. Şu an 5 tane izleyicimiz var. Şeyden de Kick'ten de böyle biraz yorumlar geldi. Ama onlar maçlarla ilgiliymiş daha çok. Ama insanlar da beğendi yani sonuç olarak şeyi. Hem bizim dinamiğimizi hem de komentariyi. Yorum da yaptılar, eşlik de ettiler. Öyle şikayet eden de kimse olmadı. Daha çok katıldılar yani direkt.
Güzel abi, güzel. Çok güzel. Sen bu arada bunun dışında hiç böyle position breakdown yaptığın, technical breakdown yaptığın şeyler yapıyor musun?
Ha yok.
Content yapıyor musun?
Yok, contentlerde technical breakdown yapmıyoruz hiç. Böyle tahminlerde de genelde şey oluyor. Uzun uzun technical breakdown yapıyorsak hani videoda onu kesiyorum ki
Çok
çok waffle olmasın diye.
Hı hı. Ya o zaman genel olarak insanlar anladığım kadarıyla technical breakdown videolarını konsüm etmeye yanaşmıyor.
Ha yok, onu sadece bizim kanaldan beklemiyorlar. Biz tam gırgır şamata böyle taşak kanalıyız çünkü o yüzden.
Ha, okey, anladım anladım. Abi bu arada sana şunu sorayım tekrar, ya bu senin kendi cevabında olabilir, de olabilir, e, işte izleyicilerinden edindiğin izlenim üzerinden de cevap verebilirsin. Teknik olarak fighting okuyamayan insanlar sence niye fighting izliyor?
Aga ben şöyle relate ediyorum. Kendim fight izlemeye zaten tam 2021'de falan başladığım için böyle bir tane çok sevdiğim bir adam vardı zaten. Diğer arkadaşlarım da ta 2019'da Izzy. Yani benim en sevdiğim fighter Izzy Adesanya. Direkt sporu izlemeye başlama sebebim. Önce onu takip ediyordum. Sadece knockoutları çok etkileyici geliyordu. Ondan sonra birkaç tane arkadaşlarımla iddialaştığım için canlı maçlarını izlemeye başladım. Ama canlı maçlarını izlerken hep şey diye düşünüyordum. Oğlum bu canlar neye göre puanlanıyor? Kim yeniyor şu an acaba? Mesela bu takedown'u aldı diye acaba diğerinin yumruklarından daha mı önemli bilmem ne. Ama izledikçe bunların hepsini öğreniyorsun zaten ve aslında MMA skorlaması da bence yani özellikle skorlaması çok kolay öğrenilen bir e, spor. Ama bu senin mesela yaptığın gibi maçın içerisinde live breakdown şunu yaparsa daha iyi olur demen ve mesela aynı anda dövüşçünün onu yapıp gerçekten o tekniği kullanarak ileri geçmesi, bu tabii ki seyircilere o kadar kolay e, hani intuitive bir şekilde gelmeyecek, imkansız ama sonuçta biri yumruğu attığında diğerinden gelen reaksiyona göre skorlamayı en azından kolay çözebiliyorlar.
Ha, mesela bak, bunu iyi söyledin. Ben bile MMA scoring'i çok iyi bilmiyorum. Ben burada genel fight scoring'i zaten buluyorum. Ya, intrinsically biraz sas bir şey buluyorum. Çünkü yani bir yerde all scoring is to approximate damage.
Aynen.
Aslında öyle yani. Bütün scoring işte bu daha damage veriyordur herhalde falan gibi bir tahmin yürütüyorsun. Halbuki en mantıklısı yani böyle. Maç sonunda doktor gelir bir tane. İkisine de bakar, der ki hocam bu daha çok siki tutmuş.
Bu tam
Yani,
bu tam şey gibi işte. O Alexander Topuria'nın maçında hani diğeri ne kadar vurursa vursun onun derisi açılmıyordu ama Bekzat'ın bir tane yumruk konuyor direkt kanıyor. Nate Diaz gibi mesela scar tissue yüzünden. Bazı dövüşler çok daha kolay kanıyor. Daha diğerleri kanıyor. Yani onu tam gauge etmek imkansız zaten de. Onun dışında
ama nedir mesela atıyorum? UFC'nin şu anda bana böyle 2 dakikada anlatacak olsan puanlandırması tam nasıl?
aga, tam olarak şöyle kriterler var. İlk kriter damage. İkinci kriter control time. Üçünde neydi? Cagemanship. Yani
Nerede oluyor dövüş?
aynen
Sen
baskı.
ortada istiyorsan ortada oldurabiliyor musun? Kenarda olsun istiyorsan kenarda yani sen kendi stratejini ne kadar implement edebildin?
Aynen. Eğer damage, yani biri damage'de öndeyse ona veriyorsun. 10'a 9. Eğer damage tamamen aynıysa o zaman control time'a bakıyorsun. Control time da tamamen aynıysa yani bu da ne demek? Eğer hiçbir yumruk atılmadıysa, sadece güreşildiyse, güreşte kim öndeyse ona veriyorsun. Eğer güreşilmediyse, sadece ayakta durulduysa ve hiçbir yumruk atılmadıysa, o zaman kim diğerine daha çok baskı kurdu ona, yani hani birine vermek zorundaysan o zaman baskı kurana veriyorsun. Ama mantıken problemin oluştuğu şeyler, mesela ben seni 4 dakika wrestling'de domine ettim ama sonra sen ayakta bana 2 tane iyi yumruk koydun. Yani tam mesela bunu kime veriyoruz? Asıl böyle hep ortada kalan roundlar böyle oluyor ve işte genelde 10'a 9 veriyorlar. Çok nadiren, ben hiç görmedim, 10'a 10 veriyorlar round eşit olduğunda, ama hiç 10'a 10 verilen bir round görmedim. 10'a
Bahsettiğim söyle abi, tamam.
10'a 8'de dominasyon, 10'a 7'de inanılmaz dominasyon.
Şey, eee bence mesela o zaman bu kunterlerce Arman 10'a 8 verirsin Arman'a. İkinci rounduna.
Armağan'a verebilirsin, evet.
Tamam, sekiz. Şey, ama bu puanlama tabii ki boksta da var bence bu arada.
Çok benziyor, evet.
Diyelim ki mesela abi biz seninle dövüştük, tamam mı? Sen sürekli action'ı press ediyorsun. Ben sürekli avoid ediyorum ama o kadar effectively avoid ediyorum ki seni kardiyovasküler olarak daha çok görüyorum. Damage'imiz aynı. Şimdi ben daha greater technical boxing, technical striking display etmişim. Ama sen abaza gibi action'ı press ediyorsun diye sana daha çok şey verecekler. Puan
Ya
verecekler falan.
o roundu bu arada MMA'de evade edene, yani o şeyin diğerini gastankini tüketene verebilirsin. Ama yani öyle bir argüman olması lazım. Hani clearly visual, görsel bir argüman olması lazım. O bakımdan boxing'e kıyasla biraz daha unbiased. Ama e, yani onu görsel olarak görmen lazım gerçekten. Diğer adama her ne kadar baskıyı o sağlasa bile, mesela şey olabilir, çünkü şey oluyor, yani onun örneğini görüyoruz. Mesela bütün round boyunca baskıyı A sürdürüyor ama B mesela bir tane, sadece 2 tane yumrukla A'yı knockdown ediyor. O zaman knockdown edince direkt knockdown edene, yani damage'i daha çok verene yine round'u veriyorlar, o baskıyı ne kadar korumuş olsa bile.
Ama şöyle düşün. Bak yine senin için hangisi daha kötü? 3 tane yumuşak yumruk mu? Yoksa sen 35 tane sert yumruk atacaksın ve hepsi kaçacak mı? Hangisi sana daha çok zarar veriyor?
Bilmiyorum.
Ha bak düşün, bak çok mantıklı olarak düşün yani. Sen bana bir maç içerisinde mesela bir roundda sen bana 15 tane haymaker atacaksın yani. Ben o kadar iyi bait ediyorum ki sen 15 defa tamamla şimdi ben buna vurdum diye haymaker'ı atıyorsun, tamam mı? Ve hepsini avoid ediyorum. Veya haymaker'ı atmıyorsun ama sana 3 tane yumuşak jab oturuyor. Böyle rangefinder jab. Hangisinde sen daha kötü durumdasın peki?
Aga, avoid ettiklerimde daha kötü durumdayım. Ama zaten benim argümanımda da sen bana 3 tane Peter Peter, pardon.
Dur bak, bir daha sorabilir miyim sorumu, bak biraz daha net bir biçimde. Şimdi bak şöyle bir format düşün, tamam mı? Sen bak, 2 tane dövüşçü var ve sen bunlardan birine takedown yapacaksın, tamam mı? Yani seni bildiği sen seçeceksin, tamam diyeceksin. Beni oraya koy, şu anda takedown yapacağım.
Aha.
Bence hangisinde daha successful olursun? 3 tane rangefinder jab yemiş herif, üçüncüsünün sonunda takedown'a girsen mi daha başarılı olursun? Yoksa 15 tane haymaker kaçırmış herife takedown'a girsen mi daha başarılı olursun?
15.
Tamam işte, demek ki o zaman tekniğinle birine 15 tane haymaker attırıp kaçırtmak is a type of damage. Like if at the end of the day it makes him more susceptible to being taken down, then you have caused some cardiovascular damage to this guy. Anlatabiliyor muyum demek istedim?
Anlıyorum ama yani bilmiyorum, ben şey olarak onun hiç örneğini görmedim mesela. Hani birini o kadar miss ettirip sonra o maçı kazanmamış veya finish etmemiş veya decision olarak da kazanmamış. Hani biraz şey, bana öyle geliyor. Bugünkü Topuria dövüşü çok öyle geliyor. Hem aktivitesi daha azdı ama diğerini miss ettiriyordu. Sonra da sert yumruklar koydu. Yani oradaki sert yumruklar bayağı onun argümanında güçlü olan taraf oluyor ama o sert yumrukların hiçbir tanesini land etmeseydi Beksat vs Alexandre Topuria ne olurdu gibi bir soru bu.
Yine bence Topura'ya verirlerdi işte orada. Çünkü it looked like he was pressing the action.
Aynen.
Anladın mı? Ya bence orada zaten bütün ki bu arada şey, Boksta bu arada, yani MMA'de bilmiyorum ama boksta casual'la high level izleyiciyi ayırt eden bu. Casual, action'ı press eden tarafı ring general diye görüyor. İyi bilen adam defensive manevralarla herifi istediğin gibi yönlendirip cardiovascular için herifi wear down etmeyi asıl advance olarak görüyor yani.
Aynen.
There's a reason why Floyd will do this to people. Like he'll be like, hadi at, hadi at, hadi at. Yani
Aynen.
onu resmen karşısındaki adamı yormak için yapıyor ve aslında he is dictating it psychologically. Like you don't really want to punch there. You just can't fucking help it. You're like, man, he's so fast. I'm never going to get this opportunity. I might as well try something. And he gets that out of you. But because he gets that out of you, you get countered. You get tired. You know, so anyway, I got it. Tamam abi. O zaman ben yarın seninle konuşurum. Benim zaten ne diyeceğimi biliyorsun ama rica ediyorum sen de konuş da ben bunu biraz da yapmak istiyorum da hakikaten istiyorsan.
Abi yani biz zaten konuşuyorduk. Sen de konuşuyordun herhalde. Ben dediğim gibi o benden örnek bekliyordu. Ben bu yayınların linkini atacağım direkt ona. Şeyde mesaj olarak da ekleyeceğim. Diyeceğim. Aga hem bizim kimya oldu hem de şu an bu practice'i yaptığımız için confidence'ımız da top noktada. We got this yani.
Okay. Right.
Bu sırada birileri demiş ki Arman alır mı sizce İlya'yı? Bence İlya alır Arman'ı. Arman Charles Oliveira'yı puanla yendi ama İlya Oliveira'yı knockout etti. İlya Topuria Arman'ı bitirir yazmışlar. İlya güreşebileceğini sanıyor Arman'la. Özgüveni yüzünden boğulur bence demişler. İlya Arman'ı boğar demişler. Bilmiyorum. İlya vs Arman.
Abi I can't tell man. Yani iki herif de fiziksel olarak o kadar OP herifler ki gerçekten ya bunu tahmin edebileni helal olsun benim bilgimi görgümü aşıyor yani bundan.
Aga benim tek bir argümanım bu şeyde komentlerde yazdıkları gibi ortak opponent Oliveira olduğu için Oliveira ile Arman çok close bir maça gitti. Ama İlya hem güreşte Oliveira'yı domine etti sonra ayakta da kafasını uçurduğu için hani kafama silah dayasanız Arman diyeceğim. İlya Topuria derim ama Arman yani ne kadar tehlikeli olduğunu biraz önce gördük zaten. Aynen. Başka da yorum gelmedi. Buraya kadar. Burada kapatabiliriz. Aga FM buraya kadar izlediyseniz mal değilsiniz. Teşekkürler. Kalbimizde, gönlümüzde ayrı bir yeriniz var. Sizi pislik. Bundan dur şu an Türkçe'ye geçtik bir de bütün outro'yu unuttum. Kendinize iyi bakın. Sağlıklı beslenin. Su için zor şeyler yapın. Kolaya kaçmayın. Eğer supplement alacaksanız eski IFBB Pro Bodybuilder Greg Doucette'in supplementlarından Toast koduyla %15 indirimle supplement alabilirsiniz Aga FM. Bir sonraki sefere kadar görüşmek üzere. Maraton ve Efes serilerini izleyin sizi pislik ve bir dahaki sefere kadar adios.